And is everything rolling over there on Rumble?
I know we're good on YouTube.
Yep, and I'm hoping we're able to get going on Rumble. For some reason, Rumble's kind of lagging. Oh well. All right, we'll go ahead and get started anyway. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Fireside Chat, the 4th of February, 2026. Damn, sorry, 2026. I feel old. All right, first up, let's go ahead and introduce everybody. First up is Wavo. Tell hi. Oh, hit the wrong button. Say hi, Wavo.
Hi, Wavo.
Here we got Casey. Hello, Casey. How you doing?
Hello, my friends. And I'm glad to be here for another scintillating conversation.
Yeah, we've got the son of Mars. And, ooh, look who is in the chat. Alice Lovely is in the chat.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, Alice.
Everybody, I hope you guys are having a good week. We had snow over the weekend here in North Carolina. And Florida had falling iguanas.
We also had snow in some places.
Yep, you had ice and you had cold and you had all kinds of messed up stuff up in there.
On Saturday, when I woke up Saturday morning, half of my body was numb, the other half was sore, and I could barely move.
Welcome to my every morning.
Mm-hmm.
That is every morning for me, Bubba.
We got a number of people filing into your chat. Got Jonathan James Johnson Jr. We got FKHC 2005 just popped in.
Sweet. Hi, everybody.
I see Alice in the chat.
Yep. Unfortunately, Crazy and Alice haven't been able to make it yet. They might be still having issues up on the mountain. And ditto with Fox Seals. So hopefully they'll be able to make it later.
Yep.
If not, we've got 5. As usual, I try to keep it into 5 sections. And we're going to start out with talking about the Iron Lung controversy. To those who don't know,
favorite topics.
Iron Lung is an independently made movie. What was the gentleman's name again?
A very big name YouTuber named Markiplier.
Yes. He made a movie about this obscure video game called Iron Lung. Made it on a shoestring budget. This was a passion project for this man. And it's made a killing after it got released.
Yep.
Hey, Shrubs, hop on in, man.
Yep.
You got room here. Come on,
yep.
Jump in.
According to last grosses, it has earned 17.8 million domestic and 3 million international for a grand total of 20,800,000 over the one opening weekend.
Damn, that's a good haul.
Yep.
Especially considering.
Go ahead, Wavo.
Especially considering the fact that even just here domestically, he was #1 on the charts until I think yesterday. Yeah. When that Sam Raimi movie beat him out.
And Sam Raimi movies are really good movies.
Yeah. He almost beat out Send Help by a couple $1 million more, and he would have blasted past it.
And what got me was how they removed him from the charts, all because he was an independent movie.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there, Richard. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. I think part of it was the Hollywood media wasn't really prepared for something like this. Okay, I'm not going to call it a sleeper movie, but basically this movie coming out literally caught the Hollywood press, asleep. at the wheel. Okay,
With their
for a loop.
Yeah, I mean, this is a passion project that Wavo was telling me he's worked on for several years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He did it on a shoestring budget
right.
and knocked it out of the park. And the biggest reason why, to me, this is a controversy and them removing him from the
removing him from the charts.
yes,
Right.
was the fact he's coming from the outside. He's not part of the machine.
Right.
And this to me is proof that yes, while Hollywood is all about making the money and pulling stuff out of the hat like this, if you're not part of the machine, they're going to do what they can to throw a monkey wrench in.
Yeah, and in true Hollywood fashion, Richard, they're trying to walk it back, but walk it back in such a way that it was a harmless mistake, because what the numbers published back on Monday was that, well, because we were expecting to have gotten something by a certain time, okay, where we would tend to post things kind of up, and then they go on to, well, it may have created a false impression that we stopped reporting on the film. We regret the error. Though that's a direct quote from the Numbers' website. The thing that it may have created, the fact that you're drawing or publishing a retraction kind of indicates you dearly did screw the pooch there. Okay, yep. You did create a false impression, because if you're the site who's expected to actually publish the numbers, Richard, where's your due diligence?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the weekend, but it's the weekend where numbers have to be reported, and if you didn't do your due diligence, that's on you.
Yeah,
okay.
It's one of those things that I'm sitting there looking at this, and all I can really think about, it's petty. That's how I'm feeling about it. This is a petty.
And what it boils down to is, like you guys were saying, Mark did 100% of this outside of the established norm.
Yeah.
He did not consult Hollywood for any of it.
Right.
Even the guy who got the movie into theaters, I don't even remember that guy's name. From what I recall, he was just some nobody that Markiplier knew.
Right. So here's what happens. Markiplier did his own self-distribution. Okay, for wherever it went, he went about taking care of the establishing the distribution of Iron Lung to the theater networks. Okay, the thing is this: Slash Film, they love to dump on that kind of stuff. That's saying, well, he and his representatives were responsible for reporting the actual box office numbers. Okay, let's decompose that kind of stuff. Is that where Slash Film gets the box office numbers from Disney directly? No. The independent and theater chains are the ones that roll up that data. Disney gets their numbers the same place that Slash Film would get it, the same place that the numbers would get it. So Slash Film saying that, it was up to him to let us know what his numbers were is kind of disingenuous on the face of it. Okay, starting with that, it's on the face of it.
I'll go one step further than that, Son of Mars. It's not just disingenuous; it's just a bold-faced freaking lie.
I'm not prepared to go that far, but it wouldn't surprise me. The fact that the numbers had to dial it back, that says to me that they knew that they made a boo-boo, big boo-boo.
Yep.
And what makes this whole thing even sweeter, after they did run it back and they put Iron Lung back on the charts, the controversy didn't die off. Because now everyone recognizes there's a much bigger problem. Because if this happened to Markiplier, it's going to happen to the next independent filmmaker that hits it big.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. And go ahead, Casey.
Well, I was just going to say, and it kind of goes back to your point, Son of Mars, is here are people that are supposed to be professional in their field. You know, they're the people that, you know, you go to find out what the numbers are. And the fact that they actually had to go back and, you know, say we screwed up, that's got to put a real damper on not only their credibility but on industry credibility as a whole. Because, like Raven was saying, who knows who else they did this to?
Yep.
And all I got to say for Markiplier is, way to go, buddy. Because
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
We are
cool.
We are looking at the true future of cinema. I honestly believe this because it's obvious to me. Now you can make any counter argument you want, but it's obvious to me as somebody who likes movies and kept track of these kind of things that if you know. It's indicative of the fact that Hollywood truly is an old, if you'll excuse the expression, boys network.
Yeah.
And if they could do anything to slow down any kind of independent production of any sort, they'll do it. And I think they were scared because I think they understood that unlike a lot of independent producers, Markiplier, because of who he was and the money he made on YouTube, actually had the money to pull it off. I think a lot of independent producers they wouldn't worry too much about because a lot of them don't have a lot of money to begin with or a lot of clout in any area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Shrubby says it certainly puts a lot of past indie failures, quote unquote, in perspective. It's worth investigating. Very much so.
Right. So,
and even better in this whole thing was Markiplier's reaction to the whole thing.
Yeah, he went straight to straight to us.
Yep. The day before it was taken down, he was making a playful jab at Send Help. All in fun. It's Markiplier. It's all in fun. It's taken down. Markiplier makes a video, and even then, he keeps his cool through the whole thing. A couple days later, it's put back up, and he's still playing it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the numbers were saying that they tried to put it back up as soon as possible with what they had. Okay. The thing is this: how is that any different than other indie films? Okay. How is that any different? The fact is that many indie films have come out, okay, and they've published the numbers they had when they had them and just amended them.
Yeah.
Okay. As if nothing. In other words, no big deal. No big deal. The difference here. Let me finish, Richard. The difference here is the place where this stuff is coming from. Okay, it's not even a regular indie filmmaker, Richard. This is a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Indie filmmaker.
There was an indie film that came out, Little Miss Sunshine, that they gave it a bunch of support.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. it's the difference of where it's coming from, Richard. If Fishbach had made this through the means of getting financing, the quote unquote the Hollywood way, okay, this might not have happened this way. But the fact that he's coming from social media and making this big of a splash, this puts them on notice that somebody can make a good film and beat them at their own game. Okay? Because this film technically beat Melania, and we know how much it cost Amazon Studios to make that sucker.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm just going to leave that right there.
Yep. And another thing that Hollywood didn't take into consideration when they tried to pull this stunt, as Son of Mars here was pointing out, Markiplier is a YouTuber. Part of being a YouTuber means having fans. His fans, when they found out about this, completely lost their minds.
Yep.
Markiplier has a very dedicated, protective, and loving fan base. The last time something like this happened to Mark, his fans came to the rescue, and vice versa. There's been many occasions where YouTube itself has lashed out at Markiplier's fans. I recall one specific incident where they just straight up mass banned a bunch of his fans. Markiplier pulled a freaking Sephiroth and went completely ballistic on YouTube until they undid what they had done.
Oh. Yep.
That is why I salute, and I have a lot of deep-seated respect for Mark.
Yeah.
Because there are not many people on YouTube or otherwise who will not only stick up for their fans, but who have a fan base that is that loving and respectful.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
for the longest time, one of the big fears that Hollywood has been the popularity of certain YouTubers that have large fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
Because streaming services and YouTube and Rumble personalities, they're drawing a lot more eyes to them than all these big budget things have been doing, mainly because of the passion that the creators have, and they're putting it into the product that they're creating. And the fandoms see that passion and they respond positive to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's why this corporate junk that they've been trying to force feed us has been falling flat.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the reasons why this whole thing, this whole controversy around Iron Lung has been such a big deal.
Yeah, and add on top of that this is effectively a solopreneur, okay? Because he's director, screenwriter, executive producer, and editor, as well as acting in the sucker.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean that's a well-rounded set of skills that this person has to possess to be able to pull off something like this. And the fact that he nearly made the same amount of money as the number one grossing, theater or rather movie studio produced movie is incredible.
Yes. This is something that it deserves respect. It deserves the recognition.
Agreed.
So everybody, if you get a chance, go see it.
Yeah.
Take somebody with you.
And Markiplier has done various other projects before that have been leading up to this, that have been honing and refining his skills.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He had a heist with he had In Space with Markiplier, which was awesome. Before that, he had a heist with Markiplier. He's done various solo projects and projects with other people before.
Right. So
Thi-
right now,
This is his magnum opus. This is the culmination of all of his talents. This is his peak, his high point.
he pulled, yeah, he pulled all the experience into putting this together. Okay. Last count, looking it up again, he's pulling a gross of 24 point something million right now. So he's made a few more million since the weekend showing this. Okay. And it does not even look anywhere have the sort of distribution that Send Help does.
Yeah.
Okay? And what does that tell you? That for as far as Iron Lung has been distributed, there's more average gross coming in per theater than for Send Help.
Yep.
Okay, means that there is strong turnout for this, and I suspect that this movie will not have the same kind of typical sophomore drop off that most movies tend to have. I think I don't know that it'll top last weekend, but I think it's going to hang in there. It certainly won't be as sharp as a drop of other ones.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a prediction. That's a prediction.
Odds are that it's either going to hold this position or it might drop one, because the odds are, because this movie was so good, the word of mouth is going to get people to go see it.
Yeah,
My
I
nephew
don't
said
know.
that him and 5 of his friends are going to go see it this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what movies are coming out this Friday. I think there's one coming out with Kevin James called Solo Mio. I think it's coming out this weekend, or
I thought
could
that
be
was
coming
a-
out the
a
next
streaming
weekend after
service
that.
movie.
But right now, it's just competing. It really is just competing with Send Help. None of the other movies are really grossing a daily. I mean, other than the Melania movie, maybe. But the number 3, 4, and 5 movie, there are several orders magnitude below it, Richard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if it makes $1 million or thereabouts, it's going to hang out in third. If it makes a little more than $1 million, it's probably going to take number 2. Okay. If it does better than that, its potential could pop Send Help out of the front runner spot. You know?
And
Yeah.
we're only going to know when we know.
And we know who made Send Help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sam Raimi, Sam Raimi is a great director. Make no mind. I love Sam Raimi. But I think Markiplier has knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Hey, Wes Cagle.
And here's the thing. Oh, hey, Wes Cagle, great to see you. Been a while. Glad you're back around. So the thing is this, though, Waravo, that with what's happened with Iron Lung, I wonder if this might serve as motivation to some other independent content creators with that kind of background to go about making some of their own.
That's what
and
I'm
making a go of it. I wonder if this experience doesn't serve as a model that other creators can't say, you know what, Fishbach pulled it off. Maybe I can too.
Yeah,
I have a feeling.
And I think that's Markiplier's general idea, to serve as an inspiration to others.
Yep.
Yeah,
Being the positive change he wants to see, man. That's the best part.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, starting off with a horror flick, I mean, and that kind of a gripping horror film. I mean, that's not my type of game anyway. Okay, that's not my type of game anyway. But I'm even tempted to go check this out just for the sake to see the technical aspects of how he pulled this sucker off. Okay. Yes, you can take a shot now, Shrubby.
Yep, he's going for that alcohol poisoning, Bubba.
Yeah.
Now, next up on our fun little topics, we've got some video gaming news. We got 2 stories to hit. We've got a Nintendo update, and we got some info about a new Sony Tech Patent coming up. Which you want to cover first, Wavo?
We'll do the Nintendo one first because it's going to be a whole lot shorter.
All right, let's hit it.
It's a relatively recent thing. Well, y'all remember last week we covered Doug Bowser's retirement and the Karen that is being brought in to replace him and all that. The rumors of her supposedly being incredibly woke and all that. Well, Nintendo have apparently made a number of posts discussing the supposed implementation of various DEI practices.
Oh, great. So everybody else is ditching DEI as quickly as they can. And this new person that's coming in and bringing it with them.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
I wish it didn't have to come to this, but I have to put it out there as a certain squid at the center of the earth whose initials are SJ or HJC is very fond of saying the wages of woke is broke.
Yep. And I also have to do this. Bad Nintendo. Bad Nintendo. Bad.
This is a moment when we really need Siggy here.
Yes.
This is a moment where I wish Siggy were here to make a push the button comment. Yep. Because this is a moment where he would absolutely be warranted in doing so.
Well, and he wouldn't have got the spray bottle this time.
On Siggy's behalf, I will ask then, could somebody please push the button?
Here.
Yeah.
You could.
Okay, everybody, you make sure when you see Siggy, you let him know he missed his chance. He missed it.
I will give him one rain check when he comes in.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you can also
he'll be showing up later in the stream.
You could also tell him that I did try to fill in for him, although I couldn't do it with as much panache as he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking at that going, have they not noticed how all these other companies have suffered under this DEI crap?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. From what I recall, I think Ubisoft is actually going out of business because of how woke they've
eventually
gotten.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe DEI needs to be replaced with TRI. Truth, respect, and integrity.
There's no integrity in the video game or Hollywood industries anymore.
That's
the only place left you'll find integrity is Valve.
Like I said,
maybe.
The one thing that could save the industry is replacing DEI with TRI.
Well, the way I see it, a better abbreviation for DEI would be DIE. Because when you adopt it, that's exactly what happens to your company.
Well, you know, the bad thing about this is that it's kind of showing where Japan is going in general, because when you know, for all these years we always looked at it as the model, you know, the one island of sanity, no pun intended, um, in this whole thing, and now because they can't make any headroads in because they can't make any headroads here anymore. They got to take that crap on the road, and now they're screwing with everybody else because they've pretty much poisoned the well here.
Well, that's the thing, Casey. This is Nintendo of America, not Nintendo of Japan.
Well, no,
That
but
this
what
is
I'm saying,
supposedly
dude,
happening in.
what I'm saying, dude, is it's already starting to get over there too. So
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time. The only thing that might save them is if Nintendo of America actually did almost go broke.
Well, that's
Yeah.
an interesting proposition. The thing is that just recently the Nintendo Switch was classified as the best selling quote unquote console of all time. Okay, so something is keeping it afloat.
Yeah, and that is no small feat.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo. Oh yeah, this is one of those bad Nintendo moments.
Yeah.
The Sony Tech patent, they're wanting the patent. Sounds pretty cool.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Here we go.
And I got it right here. So Sony, right here, Sony has patented a touchscreen PlayStation controller that lets the players choose where their buttons go. And right here, you can see the diagram for it. Because from looking this over, this seems to be one of those things where you can rearrange the buttons. You have the little screens here and here where you can freely move the buttons and D-pads and whatever to any position you want to match your play style for any given game. Like you can switch their locations between games depending on what game you want to play. And this is the kind of patent that I can get behind.
Yeah. This isn't gameplay. This is actually tech stuff.
Yes. And son of ours, I'm sending you the link for this as well so that you can look over it. But this is honestly, this seems to be kind of a big deal. Because if I can see this becoming a huge thing. And if PlayStation wasn't patenting this, I could see others adopting it because it could be a wave of the future.
Yeah.
With the way digital technology is going.
Well, I can guarantee you, if they actually do bring this into production, somebody somewhere else is going to find a way to make something as similar as they can.
Yeah. Because the patent was filed. The patent was filed in February of 2023, but it just now got awarded to them.
Yeah. Now,
well, I suspect that Valve might have something to say about it.
Yeah, that is very possible because I know Valve has dabbled in ideas like this for some of their Steam decks.
Yep, and I'm looking at this thinking this is reminding me of Star Trek, The Next Generation, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine. How the consoles that people had were customized to that person. So whenever they moved from one console to the other, they brought their console modifications to it, which allowed a lot of uniqueness to it. But that's just the geek in me remembering lore stuff from TV shows and finding it interestingly cool. So this is actually pretty interesting. This is both a hardware and a software tech upgrade, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, the general concept is the same as any controller, but the way it's done is unique, and I would dare to say new, because I personally have never seen anything like this before. Because here, they give you the opportunity to actually move the buttons around on the screen. And when you're ready to go to another game that requires another layout, you can adjust them.
Cool. That's really cool.
And I'm really glad that they didn't do something else that they tried to do with the Wii. I'm glad they didn't put the actual screen for the game on the controller too.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I know.
This is kind of that way, Casey, because to be able to map what they're talking about here, okay, is you're not necessarily going to have a physical cross. You're not going to necessarily have a physical set of buttons, if I'm reading this correctly. Okay, you basically have a virtual area where you can map the buttons to this virtual area, which is effectively under the surface of the controller, a screen of sorts. Okay, it's a grid.
It's basically a touch screen.
Yeah, it's a touch screen. It's a touch screen, and there has to be some sort of display technology so that you can see where the cross controller is, where the buttons are, where the paddles are.
Oh no, okay. I understand that, Marcello. But what I was referring to was that with the Wii, they with, I think it was the Wii U, they actually had something where you could play part of the game on your TV, and then they had something where you could play the rest of it on the controller. And the bad thing was that the thing on the controller was so small that people couldn't actually see what they were doing.
And it was very slow response. It was very poor responsiveness on the screen on the Wii U controller.
So it was not
very good.
I'm just really glad they decided not to try that again, because this in itself sounds cool.
I'll tell you this, because it is programmable.
It says basically a walking piece of plastic crap that you can't fix or modify.
Correct. Because if you toss the controller, if something bangs up into it, guess what happens? That display, because it's effectively you're looking at a display there on your controller, that display could very well get damaged. It might be an LCD, okay? It might be very protected, but it can get damaged, okay? And then you're out however much this is. Now, what I was going to say to Casey is an enterprising software developer could, because it is programmable, quote unquote, could dig into the programming inside of the controller and program it to display something on the pixels on that screen, Casey, and some aspect of the playability actually shows up on your freaking controller. And then we're back to the Wii U situation. Why? Because programmers are that way.
I know, but I'm just hoping they don't do it, because that was such a poorly done thing when they executed it that...
Oh, yeah.
And Shrubby also says current buttons and sensors can be fixed and modified by third parties. And
well, not if video game companies get their way.
Dude, if there's one rule in software development, okay, and this has been the case for gaming, and I've been in gaming since the 1970s, if there is a way to mod it, we will find it. I'm going to leave that right there.
Yep. And it's an interesting concept that I'm geeking out over because it's allows for you to customize your stuff the way you want it. And to me, that's pretty cool. And so, it all boils down to how expensive is this going to be? And like you said, people who get cheesed off, they toss their controllers.
And I broke one of my controllers just within the last week.
Yeah, this new controller concept is an awesome concept. Problem is, that just means it's easier to break.
They'd better make that with friggin' bulletproof glass.
Or better. Because that's it. Yeah, Shrubby says expensive as fuck.
Yep. I can see this being.
Go ahead.
I can see this being easily $80 to $100.
I'm gonna go higher. Okay, if we're gonna play The Price is Right, I'm gonna lay down. It's gonna be $129.99 at launch, and then it's gonna go up.
And Shrubby says a couple of $100 per unit as just a start.
I wouldn't be surprised, Richard, if after launch they came up with a pro model that is around what Shrubby's saying. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past them.
Now let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. A couple $100 a pop at start. Then over time, the price goes up and never goes down because that's what all video game companies have been doing.
Man. Yep. Potato.
Well, I know
it starts off $100, then it goes up to $300, then $400.
Yep. And
then the concept dies out due to because it's incredibly unpopular because it's too expensive and nobody can afford it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's the exact opposite of how you get stuff adopted and sold. Okay. If you're really wanting to have a new technology adopted, you have to allow for that technology, the price for it to go down. Look at flat screen TVs. They used to be several $1,000s for a flat screen TV. And that's not the big, huge wall-sized ones. But now you see flat screen TVs everywhere.
Yeah, but those are that niche is very generalized. Mm-hmm. This is very specialized. This is a technology for a specific purpose, married with a particular platform. Okay,
yeah.
You know,
but what I'm saying is, if you want your technology to not die out, this new tech, you've got to get it to where it can be affordably made and where everyday people can afford it.
But Richard, here's the thing: these people, if I understand where Son of Mars is going, because this is a niche item, they don't really care whether they get a lot of long-term money or not, because they're just in it to get the short-term bucks, because they know they've got enough of a fan base that people will buy it for a while, and then they'll just keep coming out with something else to feed the fan base.
Yeah, that's the short-term. That's that short-term gains at the cost of long-term sustainability, which goes totally against the whole concept of sustainability and capitalistic goals. You know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like I say, I don't think the people that are running a lot of these companies today are real capitalists.
All right. The aim of business is not
Possibly.
to provide a good service, but only service.
The
Sure.
only service.
Well, next up, we've got Iger going out the door there at Disney because it looks like the people at Disney finally have had enough of his bullshit.
I need to see if I can get freaking DBK to make a I'll believe it when I see it music sting, because we've had a lot of those moments lately.
Oh God, yes.
I
The whole thing
believe
with Disney going out
it
the door,
when I see it.
because this is one of those things of everybody knew that he's he's been driving Iger Corp into the ground, and we just did not. And in all honesty, I was expecting Dana Walden to be the one that they were going to put in to take his place because that's who he wanted. That was his hand-picked successor, and the fact that they're looking at Josh Amara or
Tomorrow.
Demera. Okay, sounds kind of like tomorrow. They're
Yep.
going to replace him, get rid of Iger, and put this guy in who has worked at the theme parks. Now, I've got friends of mine that work at the theme parks, and they've all said that this guy is a decent guy. You know, he actually cares about the employees. He cares about the guests coming in and their experiences. So I'm, as I say before, hope for the best while preparing for the worst. So I'm not holding my breath. I do have a little bit of hope. And the friends of mine that work there at the resort are hopeful. But they also are not holding their breath because they know a lot of the stuff that's gone on behind the scenes there. But there's a sliver of hope, but still, how many times have we had hope snatched out of our hands before? When it comes
Oh yeah.
but I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt, but like I said, I'm not holding my breath. What do you guys think?
I'll believe it when I see it. I think it's all a load of crap.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think that's the best way to put it.
I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that's been going on with the Iger Corporation, and right, hold on. Shrubby said, "Blind hope is the only thing to escape Pandora's box that made life worth even caring about anymore."
Yeah,
True.
no argument there.
Now, Iger,
Yeah.
his tenure at Disney has so radically changed Disney at its very core.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he ran off their best Imagineers, their best creatives. I mean, I can't remember who it was that worked in the parks was telling me about the fact that the people who made the best rides and kept them running at peak condition were all ran off because they were, white stale males, all about the DEI crap that they were pushing. And they ran them off. They're now working at Universal Studios, and a whole bunch of them went to go work for I can't remember the name of the company that's building a set of resorts in, I can't remember if it's northern Texas or the Midwest, that there's supposed to be this big resort that they're talking about making. And to try to pick up what Disney just tossed out, i.e., affordable, family-friendly resorts. And considering the fact that my friends that work there at Disney have seen what's going to be coming at Universal, they were referring to the fact that they don't know if they're going to have what their long-term job prospects is going to be because of what they're seeing on the horizon. Because several of them have said that after what happened with Rudy Creek, you know, how that went bye-bye, that it's going to cause a whole lot more issues there in Walt Disney World, the developments and everything else, which is one of the reasons why instead of them expanding into all that land that they've got down there, they're stripping out old stuff that people want and putting in stuff people don't want.
Well, can I make a comment here, and I open it to the chat as well as the panel?
Go for it.
I'll do it in 2 prongs. I've heard a lot of good things about Josh D'Amaro. He's supposed to be very good when it comes to running the park, but I kind of have a bit of an issue with him actually trying to take reins of the whole company, because I'm not sure that he would have the knowledge of the corporate vagaries associated with running something like Disney Corporation. But I've been thinking over the last few minutes that there may be a way to save Disney after all. But this is very radical. That's why I opened it to the panel. And that is the only thing that I could think of that he would be a real good fit at would be if they were to divest themselves of some of the extemporaneous IP that they bought and run into the ground and just went back to doing what Disney knows how to do, which is run parks. If they were to adopt that mentality, maybe Mr. DeMarco's skill set would be much more relevant to running the company. Either that, or they'd have to bring in, if they were determined to hold on to the IP that they should get rid of. The only other thing I could think of would be they'd have to have him doing the park end of this and somebody else running the rest of the day-to-day business, and let him do what he's good at.
Well, a lot of people keep forgetting that the majority of the money that the Disney Corporation makes is the parks. That's their gem. That all the movies, all the TV shows, all the cartoons, the books, the comics, all that stuff is advertising for the parks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think what they'd be better off to do is dump the extemporaneous IP and just go back to making the parks as profitable as they can, because that's where all their money's coming from, and where their bleeding money is everywhere else.
Yes. Well, they're actually starting to bleed money in the parks.
Well, yeah, but that's because of all the rest of this stuff too. So they'd be better off to get rid of the other stuff and just concentrate on making the parks profitable again, if they can at this point.
Well, the best way that they could do that to make the parks profitable again, get rid of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, turn it back into Splash Mountain.
Hold up.
Okay, go for it.
Hold up, because you're going where I was headed. Okay, let us be clear. Under Iger and Damaro's tenure, we have taken Splash Mountain, which historically had wait times rivaling any combination of any of the other rides at
Mhm.
a Disney park.
It was
Okay.
also the most
And
popular ride on Earth.
okay. And we've rebranded it. I'm not
Yep.
making any judgments about it. Okay. But frankly, wherever the idea for rebranding it came from, they took a beloved ride and they turned it into what we have now. I've been on it, full disclosure. I've been on it several times. It's still fun. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's still fun. It's a water flume ride. Okay, but I ride it for the water flume, not for the not for the sights inside of the ride, because they are nowhere near to the quality of what was presently there in Splash Mountain before. Okay. Now, under whose tenure did that change? Yes, you guessed it, Josh Damaro. Did it
Yes,
come
but he
out of
bought it.
his? Did it come out of his strategy, or was it part of Iger's strategy? We don't know clearly, but whatever it was, that's how it was executed. Okay. Also, the changing of Tom Sawyer Island into Radiator Springs. Okay, the draining of that lake, of that lagoon, the draining of that area, the dredging up of that island again, and to create a what? A dirt buggy ride?
Yeah.
A dirt
Yeah,
buggy ride? Come on, fellas. Seriously? Also, under his tenure, the stuntification of Galaxy's Edge. Never mind that KK had her hands in that, and also stunted it with the sequel trilogy and removed other rides that could have been there. Okay, and even in some cases, chunked off some place of where Toy Story Land could have expanded
Yep.
if they had done this right. Okay,
Well, like I said,
could
that
keep
was
going.
we discussed KK.
I could keep. I only said that incidentally. I'm
I
only
know,
saying that
but
incidentally, Richard.
well,
I'm on a roll here because the fact is that this was his bread and butter for a very long time. Okay. And I question, as Casey did, that he has the experience and the fortitude to handle the vagaries of Walt Disney Entertainment, of Walt Disney Cruises, okay, of Walt Disney Vacations, okay, because people forget that Walt Disney has a whole vacation arm all to itself that has quote unquote Disney destinations all over the freaking place. Okay, so I question that he has the fortitude to push back against some of this. I'll just say it, the stupidity that has led us to where we are today. He's got to not just fix the parks, Richard. He's also got to fix the movie studios, which means getting Lucasfilm back underway. He's got to get the Marvel Studios back underway. He's got a lot on his plate.
yep.
Okay. And I'm not sold that he's got the experience to get all that sorted out, especially not with the people running the places that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when you was talking about his tenure, from everything that I've heard, especially on the Splash Mountain Facebook group, he was against them changing out Splash Mountain. He was against what they did with the Rivers of America and turning uh, into Radiator Springs and all that shit. He was against all that. That he was trying to get them to keep the water fixtures because water fixtures are heat sinks, and they kept overriding him. And what I've heard about him, whenever he would do his inspection tours of the various resorts and how he treated the people that worked in the hospitality service, that the people that work at the resorts are hopeful because he treated them with respect. Whenever they would say stuff, he would listen to them and make improvements on their recommendations. But like I said, I'm not holding my breath because Iger has been there for how long, and how many yes men did Iger bring in? I mean, all the people that's in charge of all the various divisions are all people that he handpicked. My fear is it's going to take probably double the amount of time to undo the damage Iger did. That's why I refer to the Disney Corporation as Iger Corp. It was because Iger transformed it purposefully into what it is today. And the only way I can see it getting fixed is by these steps of getting Iger out and then start cutting out all those cancers, like Casey said. Some of the IPs that Iger went out and bought when he first bought Marvel and he first bought Lucasfilm, he said, I want to buy this so we can get into the boy market. But as soon as he got it, he transformed it into girl, tried to make it go from being a boys' entertainment to a girls' entertainment. This is a long, long process that we're to fix it. And I honestly, it all depends on who he brings in to help him, if he can pull it off or not.
Well, I still say that the easiest way for them to make real steps toward fixing anything, if they want to, they got to get rid of the IP. I don't care who they give to, but they got to, because they don't know how to run it.
I don't think that they're going to do that. And I would almost question who could they sell it to that would do right by it. Paramount isn't interested in it. Warner Brothers certainly as hell isn't interested in it. And I think that if Netflix tried to buy Marvel, the internet would blow up.
Yeah.
I understand, Marcello, but all I'm saying is, if I were them at this point and was just interested in trying to save my company, I'd want to get rid of that stuff at a bargain. And the reason is because they don't know how to run it. They never had. And it's just dragging them down.
Well, let's go along that route, Casey. Okay, let's assume you don't get rid of both of them, but which one of the properties do you think would probably be the most apt for them to divest themselves of? Marvel or Lucasfilm?
Lucasfilm at this point.
What do you think, Wavo?
I second that. Lucasfilm.
Okay.
At least, at the very least.
Okay, but let's go with that, Casey. Which one? Assuming you couldn't divest yourself of both, which one of the two is probably a better candidate for Disney to divest itself of?
Well, honestly, because I have to agree with the guys, because after all they paid for it and what they, in quotes, made out of it, they'll never be able to bring it back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They might.
Even then, with the difference between what they've done with Marvel and what they've done with Lucasfilm is night and day.
Yeah.
Disney has made good Marvel movies. Yes, they've made a lot of woke trash, but they've also made a lot of really good Marvel stuff.
But the only way they'll make good Marvel stuff again is they have to bring back the people that originally made the good Marvel stuff and get rid of the people that make the crap.
Exactly. Which is still possible because Feige has basically gotten rid of a lot of the people that did the fucked up shit. Now, Lucasfilm,
there you go.
One of the
There
things,
you go.
if this new guy is smart, what he needs to do is find creative people and put them in charge.
That would be where I would start.
He's got to find fans,
Yeah,
and put them in charge.
well, I wouldn't say fans per se, but here's how I'd go about it. I'd go about and say, guess what? You guys are some creatives. I'm going to bring in a new, fresh CEO for Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
I'm going to bring a new CEO in for Marvel Studios. These two will report directly to me, and we will carry out the strategy, and you guys will deliver.
well,
And
the reason why I
hopefully
say
these new
fans, Marcelo, is the fact it's like with Iron Lung. Okay, you need somebody who loves the property to be in charge of it. Somebody
Okay.
who's not going to screw it over.
I'll translate it. I'll translate what you just said for the suits in the audience. He's got to bring in people who want to make money.
Yep.
Period.
And who aren't just going to throw it under the bus.
Period. If satisfying the original trilogy fans makes money, do that. Okay. If erasing the sequel trilogy and replacing it with something better, then do that. But whatever these guys do, whoever they are, and I'm using the word guy colloquially, whatever these guys do, it's got to make money.
And it's got to make a lot of it pretty quick.
It's got to, yes, correct. It's got to get people buying stuff back at the parks. It's got to get people buying the merchandise. Okay? It's got to get people not just watching the movies. It's got to get people to watch them, to buy the merchandise behind it. Because let's be frank, the movies made bank. The merchandise kept it rolling. It kept the printing press. Yes, merchandise kept the printing press rolling.
Yeah, and it also helped to hype up the next movie too.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
See,
it helped.
That was the whole point.
Primed.
I mean, one of the other companies that they bought was Pixar. When was the last time we had a really good Pixar movie?
When Bob Lasser left.
Oh man, yeah. Well, if we're gonna talk about that, okay. Let's look at what was this movie, this animated movie that just came out a couple of weeks ago. I can't even remember the name of it. Mm-hmm. What was the name of it? Does anybody remember?
Don't know. Don't pay. I wasn't paying any attention.
There was an animated movie that just came out a couple of weeks ago. Okay, that basically was
Zootopia 2.
No, not that one. It came out from an indie studio.
Oh, shit.
It came out from an indie studio. Let's see here.
I think is it the Angel Studios, David?
No. What I don't remember if it was either Cosmic Princess Kaguya or Charlie the Wonder Dog. That I was reading somewhere that the graphics in this movie were just like this was that's it, Charlie the Wonder Dog, because it had Owen Wilson as the title character, okay, and presumably, okay, the graphics inside of this movie were better than Pixar quality. Very realistic, very, very well tuned. I mean, I get it, you know, but still, the Icon Creative Studios, I think, is the production company. And it was released a couple of weeks ago. So probably maybe not the right time to release it. You know, kids are still in school. Maybe this might have been better for a summer movie.
Yep.
But just looking at it, because when I saw it, when I saw it flash by, and you know what YouTube serves you up as part of the algorithm, I looked at the trailer and I go, wow, this is Pixar quality.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I
Pixar
didn't
used
remember
to
the
be
name, but if you look at it, this is Pixar quality.
Pixar used to be the standard bearer. You know,
Yeah,
you measured yourself against it, just like the Disney animation used to be the standard bearer that you measured yourself against.
correct. And
And
now, well, there you go.
they like I said, Iger ran off the creatives and replaced them with his yes men and women, and
Uh-huh.
that's why that's why it's the Iger Corporation to me and not the Disney Corporation. He
Mhm.
pushed out Walt Disney, and he admitted to that in that interview he did. I still remember telling Casey about it. And he's like, "You got to be kidding me!" He actually admitted it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I couldn't believe he would have the balls to do it. My
Yeah,
I
I
I
believe
will
it.
say, I will say, if I could go back and say one thing,
okay.
to my previous point, and that is all my suggestion to get rid of the IPs would depend pretty much on one of two things. Is he go is he going to receive lock, stock, and barrel control of Disney, or are they going to appoint people to take care of other areas? Because if they appoint people to take care of other areas, maybe we might have a shot here.
Yes,
But
my
it would have to be
Oh,
from an
it,
independent
it, it, it would
independent
depend.
group of people who would actually be able to appoint real people
It
and
would
not just
depend.
a bunch of Iger clones.
Yeah, it would
exactly.
depend. You're right, and that is part of what it would depend on. Number
Remember when
one.
Disney worked was when Disney operated as an umbrella and allowed each of its divisions to operate independently with just a light coordinating touch.
Well, and a an aligning strategy
Yes,
behind
that's
it. In other
that's why I
words,
said a
this is
light
why you're doing
coordinating
this.
touch.
You know, um, the thing is this. The thing is this, that we could wax philosophical for another hour on the different vagaries of this hydra called Walt Disney Entertainment. Okay, because we haven't even touched on the TV aspects of it. Okay,
Yeah,
the streaming service as well as the legacy media that they have. Okay, so and the fact is that those things would fall under Josh D'Amaro too, and he's got to navigate those vagaries as well, especially with the purchase of Hulu or the purchase back of Hulu and ESPN and the integration of that back into their streaming service. And it's not like Disney Plus is really banging on all cylinders, Richard.
exactly.
Okay,
So, what
I
if they
mean,
really
seriously.
wanted to make the money back? Make Disney Plus what they promised when it came out. Make
Well,
Disney Plus the vault where people
well,
can go and watch all the old stuff.
then you know what? Then part of what needs to happen is I'll hate to say it this way. People, I'm not going to say they need to get over themselves, but they need to recognize that their sensibilities, okay, may not be as attuned as they think they are. Okay. Yes, you can take a shot now, Shrubby. As I said the word. But the fact is, Song of the South,
Yep.
bring the thing back. Okay. If you want to leave in the message at the beginning, sure. Go ahead. Leave the message at the beginning. If that representation is how you want to base yourself on, okay. The fact is that the United States isn't the way that it was back when that movie came out. Okay. The fact that movie, when it came out, was immensely profitable for Disney.
Yep.
Immensely profitable for Disney.
And it still makes a lot of money when it gets sold overseas.
Correct. Okay. And I'm just going to drop this here, folks. If we're going to talk about racism, which I'm not going to touch because I don't want to get us dinged. Okay. please go travel outside the United States. Okay, I've been to most continents except where you live, Shrubby, and Antarctica. Okay, I assure you, racism in for whatever we want to call it in this country, au contraire. Au contraire. Americans actually paying attention outside of this country would likely be surprised, again, if they're paying attention. Okay? We are very lucky. We are very well off to be in the country that we're in the continent where we're in, and we do not recognize or are thankful of that fact. Okay?
Yep.
So I'm going to step back to Disney. So yes, they need to bring back the vault, Richard. You're absolutely 100% right there. Bring back Disney as the vault. Okay, number one. Okay,
You would actually get people wanting to
watch this stuff with their kids. Absolutely. Also, some of the shows on Disney Plus, they're fomenting division. I'm not going to name the name of the show.
Yeah.
Okay, but there are shows on Disney Plus that foment division, and it's been demonstrated they foment division.
See, the thing with Disney Plus and all the shows that they put on there, they would be making more. They would make more money by putting those shows back on Hulu and back on Netflix. That simple. Because they're not making money by having them exclusively on Disney Plus. Because there's too many people who aren't on Disney Plus and they're not watching it.
Correct. Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Like
Well,
I said,
So you don't want to show Song of the South on Disney Plus? Okay, license it to Netflix. Okay.
Yep.
And you don't want to show Robin Hood on Disney Plus? License it to Netflix. A bunch of movies. The Rescuers. Okay, the Rescuers movies. That
Yep.
those license them to Netflix. Okay, and that sort of stuff is there's dozens and dozens and dozens of these sorts of things.
And like I said, there's so much that they could be doing to fix what Iger broke. And the problem is, it falls back down to the fact Iger broke it. And it's going to take somebody to go in there and be the anti-Iger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna tell a certain person to take a lap. I mean, I know the man isn't listening. He's worth a significant amount of money, and he's not listening. But if by some miracle of the universe, Nelson Peltz is listening to this, Nelson, take the lap. You told them so.
Yep.
You told them so. Take the lap.
Exactly.
And I still got to wonder how much better off it would have been if he'd been able to get the bid.
Oh, well, if we really want to theorize a different universe, shoot, let's see here. Peltz was known to want KK out of there at all costs. It wouldn't have mattered. The money wouldn't have been the deal. I mean, wouldn't have been the problem. Peltz wanted her out. Period. End of discussion. Okay? Peltz did not want to buy back Hulu out of the deal that they had and wanted to leave Hulu independent.
Yep.
And force it to make money. Okay? That's also well known.
Iger was obsessed with making Disney Plus as his mark.
Correct. That was and going back to what I said a little while ago, Nelson Peltz wanted to make money.
Yep.
Okay. It took him another 3 years, but maybe the board now has come around to reality to say, you know what? Maybe making money is not such a bad thing after all. And maybe the way we make money is come back and realize that catering to a certain demographic, okay, isn't really the investment we thought it was.
Yep.
Because whatever universe those people are living in, they're not spending the money on us that we think they were going to spend the money on us.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it. They placated to a demographic that wasn't inclined and is never wholesale going to really be inclined to spend the money on them because things like Star Wars are not the sort of thing that is their thing. They might say so sometimes, but as a whole, it's not their thing. Okay?
Exactly.
You know,
They're tourists. They're not fans.
correct.
Dude, I'll bring you back to the best example you can get for Star Wars. At the end of the Rouge of Skywalker, and I saw this on a YouTube video. There was somebody who had a camera in there, and instead of watching the movie, there were a bunch of young people in the front row of the movie. And at the end of the movie, when Ben and Ray actually kissed just before Ben died, they're all, "Oh man, I love Star Wars, I love Star Wars." And the minute he dies, they all start yelling, "I hate Star Wars."
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I remember that.
Tourists. They're not
it
fans.
was the stupidest thing I ever saw. But
for me, it started with the first one. Okay?
yeah, that was
Awakens.
awful.
The Force Awakens. Okay, they replaced the Death Star with Star Killer Base. Okay, number one. Number two, everybody's known that Harrison Ford for a long time has wanted out. Okay, everybody's known that. You didn't have to kill him.
No,
didn't have to kill him.
that was Harrison Ford's one stipulation for him to play Han Solo again was Han Solo had to die.
Yeah. Harrison Ford specifically wanted Han Solo to die.
Yep.
He didn't want out. He wanted Han Solo to die.
In which
Now,
case,
Let's put the biggest issue to rest. What all the fans wanted to see. They wanted to see on the screen at the same time Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, R2D2, C3PO, Lando, all on the screen at once.
Okay. I'll say it this way. Okay. If they had worked, and I know this is harebrained, okay. If they had brought back Anakin and Anakin had gone up against Palpatine, that could have added a little bit saving grace to that third movie. I'm not saying would have fixed it.
Yeah.
Okay. But killing off Luke, bad idea.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
If you had brought back Anakin, that would have been. I mean, I'll say it this way. I'm not going to say the internet would have broken, but damn, what? Anakin came back from the world between worlds, and gave Palpatine the whoop ass that he deserved. Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Well, no, I don't even know that would have worked as well because I mean, unless you want to use the world between worlds, the only other way he could have done it would be as a Force ghost.
Correct. And taken on some sort of form. I mean, again, I'm just theorizing, guys. I'm just theorizing. But the fact is, there were so many options other than getting rid of Han, getting rid of Leia, and then getting rid of Luke.
Yep.
Okay? Oh, excuse
let's
me,
go
the other
ahead.
way around.
Let's go ahead
Okay.
and move to our next segment. Okay, get ready to hop up here, Wavo. The museum that attempted to cancel Legos.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
This is a good word of putting it is you're going to start giggling like schoolgirls because it's both stupidly executed, but the response of Lego itself to this museum is chef's kiss.
Hilarious. All right, so
Right, you got this floor.
So there is a science museum. Don't remember exactly where it is. I think it was in the UK. Don't quote me on that. Where they said Lego. They said Lego is anti-trans because their minifigures are exclusively male and female. So Lego is therefore anti-trans. Now, there was a little bit of back and forth. There was a little bit of back and forth between them and Lego. But Lego's ultimate final response was the Lego minifigures have one body type. The male minifigures do not have genitalia. Therefore, how do you know their genders? You're daring to assume their genders. Therefore, you are anti-trans. That was Lego's response.
Now, the museum had this thing called Seeing Things Queerly Tour.
God.
Now,
It's a thing, folks.
I'm
How do you,
Scooby Pup's not here to save me, is she? Oh man,
No.
no, she's not around.
okay. I'm gonna have to try to keep my brain from doing the. You got to be fucking shitting me! This is insane. But this is.
Do I need to? Do I need to? Do I need to ship my bucket up there to put over your head?
I'm telling you, man. This is as bad as them freaking out over the Resident Evil horror game being too scary.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
This is supposed to be a science museum.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all people, okay, I have family members that were on the LGBTQ MLOP spectrum. My aunt came out in the late 70s, early 80s in the deep South as a lesbian and left her husband and kids to do it. My family has been pushing for equal rights ever since she came out. When she died, she saw this stuff starting. And she said that she regretted it all. And seeing this, you guys don't know how hard I'm trying not to break into tears. That's how much this hurts. Now, the funny part is the fact that Lego slapped back. The funny part is some museum was this fracking stupid. especially when they're saying that they're a science museum.
Ain't nothing scientific. Ain't nothing scientific about sexuality.
Exactly. It
Well,
either
I mean,
is or it's not.
yeah, it kind of goes back to something we were discussing earlier. I mean, you could say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, an apple is an apple, an orange is an orange, and
Yeah, you can say it all you want.
yeah,
It doesn't make it true.
yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
that's the point. You can use whatever kind of pseudo scientific logic you want, but at the end of the day, there's no real way that you could justify a point that is so blatantly obvious that anybody, even a blind guy like me could see it.
Yep.
And that's the thing. When they start going after Legos because Legos, you know, is anti-trans, first of all, how do you know what if a Lego figure could identify how many of those males, might have said that they were females at one point? They don't know. It's just that kind of stupid ass logic. It's
Yep.
like, how do you know? You've got males and you've got females. That's the way it is. That's the way it was meant to be. You
Yep.
can
And
do.
that's the part, I mean, I remember being in school, and I'm sorry I brought this up before, but when I was in school, they we were being told, "Oh, we got a new ice age coming." Then they stopped talking about, "Oh, the new ice age that's coming." Then it became acid rain. Acid rain lasted, let's see, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. Then it became global warming. And everything they've been claiming about global warming today is what they were talking about then, including, oh, we're going to be all dead within 12 years if we don't do something about it. Deep breath. Let it out. Let it out. There's several of us here on here. Oh, Marcella had to leave, and I was going to talk to him about this one because we're in the same age category, just like Casey. You remember this stuff when you was in school, don't you, Casey?
Yeah, oh, yes, I do.
I know a lot of kids that keep going, why do you dismiss this stuff? And then when I start listing off everything that they said while I was younger than my niece in elementary school about, oh, the ice age is coming. Then when we hit middle school, acid, nope, we ain't got an ice age coming no more. We now have to worry about acid rain. That lasted a couple of years. Boom. Then it became global warming. And everything that they're saying today is what they said back then.
Richard, can I say something that may piss a lot of people off, but
Go for it.
it needs to be said.
Go for it, man. This is
And
this
I'm
is
just
an
going to
open one.
I'm going to say it. All right. First of all, yeah, they've been saying this forever, okay, in one form or another. And you know what? When it finally happens, whether it's going to be global warming, whether it's going to be an ice age, whether it's going to be giant acid storms, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? The point of it is when that finally happens, none of us are going to be around anyway. Even the people that are talking today about how bad it's going to be in 11 years, if it gets that bad in 11 years, they're not going to be here anyway.
Yep.
So who really cares? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm in favor of doing whatever we can to make the planet more sustainable and more livable.
Mm-hmm.
But when you keep getting the same things generation after generation, and yet as bad as it is, the people who are complaining about it today aren't doing anything more than the people that were complaining about it when we were kids are doing.
Yep. And everything that they said we needed to do back then didn't change a damn thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, if they're that worried about it today, why aren't they doing it?
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting there. They're
okay.
sitting there.
Everybody talks about Davos. Okay, how all these people have been calling for this stuff. We got to stop fossil fuels. We got to do all this. This year at Davos, they stopped calling for all that stuff and said, no, we need to get back into the fossil fuels for energy so we can be able to power AI. This all has been nothing but a big propaganda PR stunt for their personal power. That's why these rich assholes were sitting there saying, oh, we need to convince people to eat the bugs and like it. We need to teach them to live in the pods and like it. It's all about their personal power. They're flying around on private jets and bitching about us packed into like sardines into flying buses, trying to force us to give up our mobility.
Well, I mean, I wonder how, to go back to your point, Richard. I wonder how many of them would be willing to do the following. I wonder how many of them, whether it's Bill Gates, Elon Musk, whoever. I wonder how many of them would be willing to give up their corporate jets and just do things the way that the rest of us have to do it.
Well, you don't have to think. Ask that question because John fucking Kerry proved he wasn't going to do that when he was put in charge of the climate stuff during his tenure. He didn't do it, and that's just the way it was. All right, let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. Our last little bit is going to be the Epstein files fallout.
Be very, very careful of your wording.
Yep, and we are going to basically spit the fallout on all this Epstein information that just got dumped has caused all kinds of craziness. We're going to be doing a deep dive on this stuff over on Rumble because Rumble has actually got freedom of speech and their algorithms ain't going to throttle the living bejesus out of us when we're talking about this stuff. Straight talk. That's what I want. Is some straight talk where we're just talking about it, what we think about it, and trying to find out the truth. Now, we know of a big billionaire, the guy who Elon Musk kicked off the top rung of being the richest dude around. And the things that came out about that's actually got dude's ex-wife going, oh, hell no. If this is true, I want somebody going to jail. We also got ties to the mommy of a recently elected mayor of a major mega city here on the East Coast, whose mommy was like super tight with the bad dude with the little island. So yeah, we go some shit. And whoo boy.
Gonna be a doozy.
The people who voted for this guy were out front at the gate screaming for him to resign when it came out that his mommy had such a tight connection with Island Man. And I'm going to leave it there. So this is going to be some stuff we will be talking about on Rumble, hopefully Friday. If not Friday, we might end up doing it a little later on. This is some really crazy stuff that needs to be talked about. I want to get people to actually interact in the chat, asking questions and bringing facts. Excuse me, because this stuff had been going on for so long, and nobody did jack about it. And now that it's coming out, and we're finding out, Orange Man was on said list because, well, he basically was going to the FBI saying, "Here's what I got. This is what he's done." And all the victims have come out and said, yeah, he wasn't one of the people who did it. So, yeah, I want to do a deep dive. I want to get as many people as I can to help me do this deep dive, and each person delve into certain fat areas of it and start digging in so we can discuss it. Anybody in the chat that wants to take part in this and be on the panel, you don't have to use your name. You can come up with it, the voice modulator. So if you're afraid, there'll be a knock at the door, and it's a kind of dumpy looking blonde haired woman with a fake mustache on who wants to arc inside you, and you don't want that to happen. We will find a way to protect your identity. I'm not as worried because I've been in the same room as her and her husband. Got called a piece of white trash for my efforts, and it didn't bother me. Death holds no fear for me. Been there, done that. But if you guys don't want to do it, I'll totally understand. Because Billary is not somebody you want to cheese off. But anywho, anything you guys want to comment on?
Well, all I know is this is a great case to say that you better be careful how you campaign to get into office, because you never know when stuff might come back to bite you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, this dude campaigned to give away all kinds of free stuff. Then when he gets in there and he looks at the books and finds out, oh man, we're almost bankrupt. And instead of giving away free stuff, he started jacking the prices up on everything.
Well, he also talked about, this same person also talked about banning anything, any type of products that were related to a certain animal whose consumption is banned in certain major religions.
Yes. Getting rid of pork, which, especially in the schools, trying to get rid of pork in the schools when it's a staple of a lot of people's diets. And Siggy just shows up and says, what you will understand more fully is that our eldritch God can spare humanity any more suffering once the pretty red button is pushed.
Siggy, I wish you had been here at the top of the stream. If you had showed up at the top of the stream, we had the perfect segue for you. We had the perfect opportunity for you to say that and not get sprayed, because we absolutely would have agreed with you.
And you know what, Sig? I even tried to step in your place, but I can't do it with the panache and the style that you do it, buddy.
He says, I wished I hadn't crashed out tonight. Yes, Iggy. Today, you actually had the chance of not getting spray bottled.
Matter of fact, as I remember, Richard, we said that if he did show up, we wouldn't even spray bottle him if he said it later. So
yep,
it just got your freebie Sig.
That's why you're not getting spray bottled right now. So you're good. You're good to go. But yes, uh,
I mean, you got to be real careful how you get elected these days, because you never know when a certain unfortunate skeletal configuration might pop out of a supposedly closed closet.
yes.
Yep.
One of the things that got me about this newly elected mayor's mommy being so incredibly close with Island Man, and pictures of him of his mommy holding him as a baby in the arms of said Island Man. That picture, when I saw it, was like, oh my God. And if there are people who are actually saying Island Man might be his actual real daddy, to which
I can't wait to talk more about this.
yes, this is, it's so out there and funny. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I'm giggling my butt off about how wild this stuff is and the fallout that's coming from it.
Yes, fans, remember, check your Rumble listings for a special edition of As the Stomach Turns.
Exactly. Well,
Yep.
guys and gals and everything.
Wasn't that the name of a soap opera back in the day?
Yep. No, it was As the World Turns. I just added stomach because this whole thing kind of makes me a little ill.
At this point, it's as the stomach churns while the world burns.
Yep.
Okay, I'll go with that too.
Well, guys and gals and everything in between, let's go out there and be a positive change in the world. Let's be the positive change we want to see. It's only by going out there and doing something that we're going to make this world a better place. Talk about the stuff you love with others. Share it. Let people understand why we care so much about these pop culture things, that these shows, these TV shows, these movies, the toys, the cartoons, the stuff we grew up with loving, that inspired us, that gave us hope in the most darkest of times, and made sure we didn't just give up. And I just want you guys to share what you love with others, because this world needs more love in it. And as we've been seeing, all the chaos, all the pain, and the only thing that's going to stop the pain is if we go out there and try to be an example for others to aspire to. We need to inspire people again. Inspire people to love and be kind to each other. That's the only way we're going to fix this world, guys and gals and everything in between. So let's go out there and be that positive change we want to see. In this world, it does need a lot more love in it. And guess what? It does deserve the love just as much as each and every one of you are. Never forget, you're not alone. And you are loved, even if it is only by me. Be good.